Hello everybody, it's me, Whimsy, and I'm going to be delivering a remote viewing today, and I'm going to do a couple of card throws as well. I'm sitting here in my living room, actually my kitchen. Just finished cleaning it up, and I thought I would go ahead and do a remote viewing. So the first remote viewing I did, let me go ahead and move that, has to do with, I kind of wanted to check on Donald Trump, and I did so last night just because his behavior has been so irrational, it's been so strange, it's been so confusing that I wanted to understand the emotional state of the individual. So, as people know, he's done anything and everything to deny the results of the election, and it was certified today. So last night when I went into the energy, I tried to put myself in Donald Trump's shoes as a heart-centered remote viewer, where I really try to open up my empathy and put myself in his shoes. What I felt was, the emotions I felt are horror, anger, fear, and desperation. So these are the actions. What we're witnessing right now are the actions of a desperate individual. Also, this individual does not present as rational in any way. It's not a rational energy. I also feel when I go into this energy that this individual is probably bankrupted. I don't know why, but this is somebody who really seems to be in a lot of financial trouble. The feeling I had when I went into this individual's energy was that they really don't own anything. And people talk a lot about Mar-a-Lago, and how he can go live in Mar-a-Lago. But lately, as I meditate on Mar-a-Lago, it was almost as if he was not the main owner of the estate. And in fact, I think more may come out about this. It's as if it's as if China bought Mar-a-Lago. It's as if some foreign government like China came in, paid off Mar-a-Lago, and now he has the secret agreement where he can stay there sometime, and he may even be able to get like a permanent little place there. But the feeling I get is that he doesn't own Mar-a-Lago. Something about that is going to come out. It's not just about, I know people have said he can only live there 30 days a year because of the fact that it's temporary housing, but that is not what I'm talking about, okay, to be clear. I'm talking about a feeling when you go into this energy that he may actually not be the rightful owner, but is merely the face of many of the properties that he's claiming he owns. They appear to be possibly owned by banks, possibly foreign banks or foreign governments. So part of the feeling I get with Donald Trump is this feeling of horror, as if the truth is going to come out and he's going to be publicly humiliated as the emperor who has no clothes. But he's also the con artist that has no money and no home. It's not going to go well for him in the end. I mean, it just doesn't look like there's going to be much left over, and it may be a very embarrassing and public exposure when it does happen. So I want to go ahead and check on Donald Trump first, and then the other thing I decided to do today, I'm just going to do two throws. One is on Donald Trump, his mental health, and what's going to happen to him after he leaves office. I'm going to do a deep dive. I'm going to go deep today. And then the other one is I want to look at Biden's first 100 days. And then I will look at following the energy on Brexit. Sound good? All right. All right, let's do this. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and my viewers as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decision for ourselves, our families, for the planet, for the people we love, but also to help those we have strife with. And together we say, Amen. Okay, we're going to go in and we're just going to look at Trump's cards in the coming days. and what happens after he finishes his term. I want to look at what he's going to be doing during his term and afterwards. Where he is at right now, he's trying to create a new situation and get well. There's a strength card here, which is actually a good thing, because I was very concerned about the mental health of Donald Trump. Even to the point where I thought he was having some kind of a breakdown. These are both major arcana cards. One has to do with strength, health, being in a position that could potentially be strong. And also the Magician card is a power card. So this is somebody who is trying to create a new situation for themselves. A partnership comes up. This is something that's come up in the past. His wanting to go into media. The dueling, what's going to be happening simultaneously when Biden gets his inauguration, the fact that he wants to air a separate thing on Trump TV or some other alternative. You can see here a partnership, and then you can see Three of Pentacles coming in. Three of Pentacles can be a real estate card, of course, but in addition to being a real estate card, it can be a card that has to do with contracts, blueprints, figuring out the blueprint for potentially a new partnership. Also, Two of Wands is the person who has global investments or global interest. It's the export-import card. And then we can see the contract here, a strong new position is coming in for him. It could be potentially that part of this had a marketing aspect to it. Here's the Grifters card that I use, the Two of Pentacles, the person who's juggling coin back and forth. And then what is below the person? This person being Trump, of course. Trying to get an angle so people can see the entire card chart. People had asked me to do that because they're learning. So I use the card, the Two of Pentacles, to denote juggling coin back and forth, rocky waters with coin, past placement for him, the master over what actually is defenseless, unable to defend his territory, and a grifter. It's interesting, the Master card is associated with the Grifters card, and then we have someone who's unable to defend their current territory, with the new beginnings being disrupted. The third house, which is this house, the house we sit in or marinate in, it can be something that a person ruminates on. No new beginnings. I really think that he took the leap of faith and really believed that he was going to be reelected. And to some extent, he bought into it so much so that he did not have, his plans were not fully developed. We know now that they're talking about Ivanka Trump running. Possibly I could see the Senate or some other position in Florida. We had talked about that a couple of weeks ago. We can see that this is a family that wants to continue to stay in politics, not going anywhere. Inverted Page of Wands, no new beginnings, and then the Chariot card is here inverted. It's talking quite a bit here about him engaging in new alliances. You can see the Lovers card, which can be a clandestine meeting or working with somebody else on the side. I think he's going to go into another job, opening communications. This is also an inheritance card. Some kind of problems could happen with his future alliances. You can see a judgment coming in over his meetings, or clandestine lovers can also be someone separate from the main person, or it can sometimes be cheating. It can be another partner on the side. But there's something about what I think is going to be some kind of new relationship that they're talking about, that I think there's going to be trouble with this new partnership. It's what he wants, but you can see it may have trouble getting off the ground. Also, an inverted Ace of Swords is like the Ace of Spades. It's not a good omen, and it's what he's concerned about with the Hanged Man coming in. I would not be surprised if, despite his best efforts, this may not go his way. This attempt to work with another business or go in another direction may not work for him as well as he would like. I just want to check and see with these cards if there's going to be, if he's going to get pardoned or if there's going to be federal prosecutions. It looks like he may receive a pardon, but it goes back to the original prediction that he would be given an opportunity to leave, to resign early. He doesn't have to go to the Biden inauguration. With an Ace of Cups coming in, an offer world is definitely a good fortune card. And then Nine of Pentacles, where it's over, would lead me to think that he is being given some kind of an offer that gives him a new beginning. The clarification, Page of Wands, the Sun card, and then the final outcome for him, the Fool takes a leap of faith. I think it's kind of a sad outcome. This is somebody who is desperate in the end and will take anything he can get, and probably at the end of this story, it's very sad, he will probably be exposed as bankrupted. And I don't know if he'll do prison time, but he will probably experience a very public humiliation, and it will most likely be financial. All right, so I now want to go ahead and I'm going to be looking at Joe Biden's first 100 days. People had asked if I would do a full 12-card spread just to take a look at what the first 100 days of a Biden administration is going to look like. So I think that's good, cool. We will go ahead and do that right now. First 100 days for Biden. Fool takes a leap of faith, and you can see the Lover's card moving in. So this is somebody who is trying to create a team of rivals. This is somebody who is trying to work across the aisle. Definitely with a Lover's card, like I said, it's a clandestine meeting or meeting another group, trying to create a broad alliance. King of Swords comes in. That's a card we've talked about in the past. If it's straight up, it can be reason. It's not an emotional card. It's sometimes referred to as the Ice King. And the reason it's referred to as the Ice King is because he appears in like blue ice. Inverted, I've often talked about the King of Swords as the psychopath's energy, just because he's often such a cold energy. But it can also be something really positive in the sense that it's often the scientist card, the intellectual, the man in white. Surgeons often will sometimes get this card. Logic, reason, the sciences, Aquarius male. So there is a interpretation I would have of this card where it's the time of the scientist, it's the time of reason and logic. And if I were to say anything, it's not just about creating new alliances with Biden over the next 100 days. It's also about reason, sanity, science, logic coming in. And this has happened before. This card has come in before. This is a feeling more like a divorce than anything else, in the sense that the people that were attached to the former president were extremely attached to the former president, to the point of you have Three of Swords here. So you have the nation heartbroken, possibly they love another. I'm assuming those are Trump supporters. The honeymoon or the relationship is over with the past president, inverted Ten of Cups. Now a new offer comes to us, which is the Biden Presidency, Ace of Cups, and then Justice comes in, an attempt to restore justice. I like the third house for Biden because As we've said in the past, I think of this as the social workers card. It's also a card that denotes compassion and care for those who cannot care for themselves. It's a benefactor's card. Nurses will often get that card. His 7th house is the mastery card. The other in relationship with him has an inverted death. I'm assuming that that is Trump's administration. Really, it's a hard ending. It's like this sane justice comes in and all this other stuff gets cleared away really, really quickly. And then I think it's going to be a very successful 100 days because you can see the 6 of Wands moving in. I read this as 6 months victory. So definitely I would see this as a successful 100 days that creates logic, balance, the sciences. He's also going to be, I think he really is going to roll out emergency, a president's disaster relief, some kind of war relief, because you can see the Ace of Pentacles moving in into the 7th house over mastery. Really getting the money where it needs to go. And again, the fact that there's a 6 of Pentacles in the 3rd house, what is around them? The Page of Swords. Archangel Michael comes in, cuts off or severs. This is also, you know, if you have a cancer or something that's unhealthy that needs to be severed, you want the energy of Archangel Michael, who comes as the Page of Swords and severs, cuts, and ends the former administration. So this is a very abrupt ending to the Trump administration and a beginning new administration. They have to be very careful that they're not trying to take on too much. They're very enthusiastic, but you can see that 8 of Swords coming in as kind of a warning for the Biden administration that they may be trying to do too much too quickly, and it works as a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for him not to be completely overwhelmed. Before I close today, I am kind of curious about, I want to do one more throw on Ivanka Trump, just because I feel like there's just a lot of energy around her. So I think I am going to throw on Ivanka Trump before I close today. All right, let's take a look. Ivanka Trump. I think I'm going to look at Brexit too. Now that I'm warmed up, I'll stick around a little longer. Okay, Ivanka Trump going to be running possibly for Senate in Florida. What is the future of Ivanka Trump? Where she is at right now, wanting to return back to something from the past and an inability to let go of a particular goal. 5 of Swords is to walk away from something you can't win. It's inverted, so she hasn't totally given this up. And you can see the 6 of Cups moving in, returning back to something from the past. Ace of Swords is over her, which is victory. It's also victory in war. It's somebody who goes in to fight and then they win the battle. What crosses? Walking away. She's walking away from something associated with a victory. What is above her? Getting out of a situation. Attempting to get out of a situation that she got herself into. She's having a bit of a health challenge. There's an inverted strength card there and an inverted tower. She's coming out of a situation, potentially health issues, tower issue there as well. Yeah, I'm concerned about this individual's health. These are health concerns. She's having a health crash. And also this, 8 of Cups coming over, walking away from something she thought she would be victorious in. Ace of Swords, walking away again, trapped here. This is someone who may have to leave the public eye due to health challenges. She's defending her position, 7 of Wands. What is around her? No new beginnings, hopes and fears, getting over feelings of depression or emotional. Her health challenges appear to be psychological or emotional. This is a depression card. It's also inverted 3 of Swords, can be suicide. She accepts an offer she did not want to take. She's going to be in a position where she has to take an offer she didn't want to take. Her health is really being affected right now. Look at this, boom, 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 inverted strength, what she sits in, unhealthy, her future, unhealthy. This is a health card here. Look at this, she's trying to get out of a situation she's placed herself in. 9 of Wands inverted, 7 of Wands defending her territory, coming out of a restriction, lost money. Look at that. Hopes and fears. She's putting the past behind her. I don't know if she has a political future after this. I still see her writing a book or something like a memoir in order to promote herself. But with the Queen of Swords being the outcome and all these health challenges, she may have to give up her future goals of going into politics with cards like that, because she's got stuff going on that's really starting to affect her health. Before I go, I'm just going to take a look and see if it's going to be a hard Brexit, if they're going to try and get out of Brexit, or what the future of Brexit is now that we're getting so close to the date when they're supposed to have a hard Brexit. All right, regarding Brexit, again, same thing as before. You can see the Karma card not going anywhere, Knight of Pentacles, stops as a stopgap, and then Thief, 7 of Swords, attempts to get away with something. It's falling apart. Always looks like a disaster. The business model. It just feels to me every time I go into this that the EU just wants Britain to leave already. Like they're actually kind of like, they present as spoiled children that they don't like anything on their plate. And so it's almost like they're being told that they can leave. If you don't like what you're eating, leave. And then they're like, well, we do want to leave, but we want you to make something entirely different. And that's just not going to work with the EU. But that's exactly what it looks like. Spoiled children that they want to keep all the benefits, but they don't want to pay for anything. Oh, they could get some kind of a deal with the Knight of Wands coming in. But boy, talk about emotional immaturity. It really does feel like people cannot agree on anything. Either by spring of 2021, they will either hammer out a new relationship with Europe or they'll drop Brexit altogether, because you can see a new beginnings here, High Priestess, they find a solution. It's almost like a non-Brexit Brexit. A new offer is given. I think that they just exhausted Europe. Hopes and fears, the new contract, the strife of the new contract. Knight of Wands, things start to move, and then 9 of Pentacles. So we'll see, but at least this looks better than the last time. It looks like there's some actual movement happening with Brexit. It doesn't look quite as catastrophic. I don't like this, though, a thief and over. The fact that there's movement and it's positive after this leads me to think that either they completely change up Brexit, or things completely change by spring of 2021, and certainly by summer of 2021 with these cards. Spring here, and then summer cards here, confidence, financial security, moving forward. It's going to be interesting to see how they come through this and how they come up on top by spring, summer of 2021. A new beginning and a new contract. It may not be the Brexit that people had originally wanted. It looks like it may be something quite a bit different. All right, well, that was interesting. I hope you all enjoyed my kitchen table tarot. If you're still trying to get in for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. My site is fixed. Also, be sure and share, like, subscribe, and push the bell notification so that you can be informed about all my future videos. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.